Hi there, Phil Rogers, Lauren Hall here from Loan Market Edge, coming to you with our weekly wrap and all that is trending in lending.
Yes.
So first and foremost, obviously been a crazy week down here in southeast Queensland, Northern Rivers, Brisbane, Gold Coast. It's just been crazy. So a big shout out, thoughts and prayers from all of us here in all of our offices to you guys. We hope everything's doing okay. We wanted to also just reference the banks have been really forthcoming, been really great this week around financial support and packages and relief and stuff for obviously home loan customers where possible. So if you do need anything or you know anyone, please reach out and where possible, we just want to help and we'll steer people in the right direction and get them in touch as soon as they can. So yeah, just please, if you know of anyone, we're here to help. Clients of ours will not do anything we can to help. So this week we thought really relevant. We just wanted to talk about credit files. So big changes with what's been happening in, I guess, the Australian lending market, lending market, financial market in general, with how credit files now work. We've spoken about it a little bit previously, but it's becoming more and more relevant as this continues to grow on and it moves into the second and third stages of what is comprehensive credit reporting here in Australia. So we talk a little bit about that, I guess. You know, a little bit about what is that comprehensive credit reporting and maybe what's actually on that credit file, I guess, because everyone has one. Anytime you apply for finance, there's an inquiry that goes onto that credit file. Yeah. Now, understanding the data from that inquiry, so things like your employment history will be on there. There'll be details. You will have an overall score. Yeah, from somewhere between 0 to 1200. 600 is about a minimum for the banks at the moment. So very mindful.
Ticket to play.
What that looks like. It will now have things like repayment history over a 2-year period. So where previously it used to be just about whether you'd made an inquiry, now they actually, if that facility's opened, they'll actually have the limit, the balance, and conduct on that facility over a 2-year period, open or closed. Yeah, so if you closed it down 9 months ago, the bank you go to today is still going to know if you didn't make payments, unfortunately, back then 2 years ago. So really important piece that we'll talk about. Telcos and buy now, pay laters. Buy now, pay later needs to go. Is ruining stuff for everyone, understanding what it actually means now, especially that it's moved on to your credit file, right? So if you're not making that payment or you miss it or it's behind, these things are listed now on the credit file.
Just thinking about all the online shopping in
my
office.
We're not talking about anyone in particular, but you know, there's examples that we know of, that this can be problematic. But just and then it also has things like directorships as well. So if you might have been an old director a long time ago, a company that's you've never used, done anything, that's all listed on there. Yeah. So we'll talk through a couple of things today that's relevant. Maybe you might talk a little bit about what influences or affects that credit file.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one is around those inquiries.
Getting to talk this early too. How about this?
I have like a proper segment. It's quite exciting. Yeah. So inquiries, yes. So if you're making inquiries online, so that might be just looking at interest-free type stuff, the buy now, pay later type things, the quick 2-minute loans, all that kind of stuff. You'll find they will flag as inquiries on your credit file, okay, even if you're not proceeding with those. So particularly in the last 12 months, the amount of inquiries you have in that space will very much affect your score, okay, so be really conscious of that. We always want to make sure we're shopping around, we're getting the best deal, all of that kind of thing when it comes to finance, but if you're out there sitting at home on your laptop making inquiries, you will affect your credit score. Okay?
Yeah, like multiple credit card applications.
3
or 4 to get the best points, and I thought I'd just check. Suddenly you've got 4 inquiries in 1 month, that's going to drop your score.
100%, yeah. The other one in there is around your repayment conduct. So as Phil said, it will show over the last 2 years if you've made your repayments on time. So that's buy now, pay laters, that's telcos as well, that's credit cards, that's home loans, that's personal loans, that's everything on there. So if you are having a look at what actually shows on your credit file, it'll have 0s if your payment's made on time, 1 if it's late, and that's generally between 1 and 30 days. And then 2s from there as to how many months late it is. That's something the banks are looking at really, really closely. And as Phil said, if the facilities have been closed, it will still show on there as well. Okay, so make your payments on time. It's really, 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 really important.
And it wasn't normally such a big thing, right? Where they go, they're slugging us with that. Oh, they get me $5 a month because I forget to move the money. I pay it 2 days later. The bank told me it wasn't an issue. Yeah, well, now unfortunately, due to that new reporting, it is an issue.
Yeah, and everyone can see it.
Yeah. No
your
hiding.
bank and everyone else, correct? You can't hide from it.
So we thought we'd also then talk about some top tips, therefore, that can help with this and how to keep an eye on it and how to stay on top of it. So first one, we may have touched on it, just about being mindful about applying online. So when you are, again, chasing maybe points on a credit card even, or go, I'll just apply for a couple to see which one I get, or I just want to see if I can get the loan, so I'll apply because I get an answer in 2 minutes. Yeah, any inquiry for any of those, the buy now, pay laters, the telco, everything is on there. So be very mindful and think very carefully about doing that before you do.
Oh, back to me. Wasn't prepared. What's next? You actually can regularly check your credit file. So you can subscribe $8-10 a month through Equifax, and you'll get regular updates if there's any movement or anyone touching your credit file, and you can have a look at what's on there. So really critical. Also, there's a lot of fraud stuff going on, a lot of scammy stuff as well. So it's quite good to have eyes on that and just make sure that there's no one touching or doing stuff on there. It's not uncommon for there to be weird things on credit files or unusual inquiries and stuff like that. It's actually not that uncommon. So if you do jump on and subscribe, you can keep an eye on it and make sure it's good to go.
The next one I want to talk about is checking, and we touched on about checking your direct debits. Yeah, jumping in and having a look and updating what day they do come out, what day do you get paid, what day is it due, is there money normally in that account, does it traditionally maybe just get missed, and have a look at those repayments maybe across a number of direct debits, and maybe shift stuff back a couple of days, maybe top up one of those accounts, just make sure that it all lines up, because again, it can be, it always happens because it's a public holiday or whatever. I mean, we get that stuff, it's no one's fault, but it is controllable. And now, especially how that shows up on your credit file, if you jump on and check those direct debits and make sure it is coming out, definitely a hot tip in the lead up to a loan application.
I think the last bit that's relevant in there too is around the credit repair companies as well.
Yes.
Do you want me to keep going?
Okay.
There we go.
I'll just butt in. I'll let you start.
Okay. So we do have a couple of really great companies that can help if there are errors or anomalies or things like that on credit files, so they can jump in and negotiate to get defaults removed if they shouldn't be on there, or issues around reporting that's not correct. It does take some time, okay, so it's not something that can be done overnight. So again, knowing what's on your credit file, starting this process earlier before we find a property will give us the ability, and these credit repair companies, the ability to jump in and get some things cleaned up. It can make a huge difference with what finance options you can get, what interest rate you can get, what level of deposit you need to put in. So it's definitely well worth making sure that it's all squeaky clean. And if not, we can get these guys to give you a hand and see if there's anything that they can fix.
Huge influence on your loan application and your ability to get a better deal when it comes. This is a real starting point. So reason number 792, like you needed another one, to call us first. Touch base with the dream team, get in touch. Let's have a look at that first before you start shopping. Understand your profile. Such a big part of the research phase right now is getting this completed and getting on the desk and understanding what's on there before we go anywhere near a bank, to obviously give you the best possible chance at getting this done. Whether it be now or something you're planning for in the future. Yeah, the idea is to get this set first so you know what you're in for. Other than that, stay safe, peoples, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.